Hey friends, my name's... Oh my god. It was working a minute ago. Wow, it's still working. What? What? Why? Why? What? What? Why? Hold on. What the hell? Okay. That was weird. Welcome, friends. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Whoop Wednesday. Wait, no. Welcome to Fartbag Friday. Fat Rigs Friday. Anti-social with a $4.36 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, keep doing what you're doing. Learning a lot here. Very cool. Love that. Love that, my friend. 250 P's. Is that a P? 250 dongers. Thank you for the dongers, my friend. Hold on. This is not needed. The computer just freaked out and just refused to work properly. There we go. All right, friends. Hi. I fell asleep at like 5 o'clock today. Bad. Will there be a day? Will there be a day that any of us learn how worthless naps are? Is today that day? I've never taken a nap that I feel better afterwards, but god damn it, I keep trying. Anybody else? Is anybody else a serial nappist? Today we are going to fly and discuss 4 different formulas for 75mm rigs. One of them's a bind and fly, and it is actually fully upgraded now. Look at that cute little True RC Ultra Short. I have now flown all of the propellers on this guy, so we can talk about that. It's sort of like a continuation from Wednesday's live stream. Wednesday we talked a lot about this in relatively stock form, but with a propeller swap. Now I've also swapped the antenna, but still, I have now flown all 4 of the 45mm propellers for this. And realistically, like, if you're gonna buy one of these, propeller swap is like the big thing that you want to do. The VTX and camera, yeah, they're not the best, but in order to swap them out, you're gonna have to solder. The VTX and camera setup is direct soldered straight to the AIO. So yeah, nothing wrong with getting this Meteor 75 Pro and just leaving it the hell alone. It's easy to swap, and you're probably going to want to swap an antenna on. This is the TrueRC Ultra Short, and it is absolutely perfect. If you're going to swap the antenna on this thing, spend $20 on a TrueRC Ultra Short. It is perfect. The way that it's mounted, it's far enough away from the AIO where you're going to get good signal. Even better would be to do this. Just give it a little up. The antenna that it comes with is just like this, and what happens is, as you start crashing harder and harder, this goes down and gets into the propellers, and then the propellers mangle the antenna all up, and it's just not good. So yeah, pretty early days with your OG BetaFPV bind and flies. You're gonna want to swap the antennas, and like I said, this Ultra Short is just absolutely perfect. It's just the right length. The way that the antenna is mounted to the VTX is actually kind of brilliant. I really do love it. There's a little piece of shrink wrap, and it just puts the antenna in like the perfect position. It's really, really, really good. Really well done. Unfortunately, the VTX and the camera are not all that great, but they're not terrible. They're not the worst. They're totally flyable. What you were looking at the beginning of the live stream was flight footage from this. And you may have noticed that the image quality of the camera is not quite as good as from the Runcam Nano 3s that I normally fly, but it's not so bad that it's not flyable. And with analog flight footage, like, nobody's really going to be watching it. It's just kind of you. And so as long as the feed is good enough for you to see where the hell you're going, just have a good time. You know, this is a bind and fly that you're getting to just have a good time. The frame is gigantic, so there's a bunch of duct in view, even with the extra up tilt. So like buying this and then trying to like do something with the footage, not many people are going to do that, and that's okay. You know, this is a rig to fly and just focus on getting better and having fun. Cool. Troy Prelog was first in the chat. Curtis Hayes was next. Tongue Out FPV was after him. Minos 133, Layman Board, Crom, Weebleed FPV, Cole Powers, Striker, Safe Zone, Anyoki FPV, Skull 901, not applicable, Cole Powers again, Curtis Hayes, Douglas 6, Brandon's Baked Beans. What's up, Brandon? Soap Legend, Low Dash, Zoe 101, Walter Van Dan Ord, Chuck P, Zero with a 7, Brent Anderson, Brad Mondin, Antisocial FPV. What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming. Crom and Yoki, I think I got everybody. Four Little Pigs. Gareth. Monkey D. Cluffy's in the house. Adam Weston. Good to have you, friends. Good to hang out with you all again. Cole Powers says, I blame Apple. Yeah. Curtis Hayes says, on my way to fly 3 65mm, can't stay long. 3 batteries? Maybe. Fly your 6 batteries today, friends. Today's not the day that you skip it. I'm going to fly 6. I'm going to fly more than 6. Anti-social with 250 Ps. Thank you again, brother. Brad Mondin says, don't wake up from naps until the morning. LOL. Even that doesn't work. Walter says, I have a new device. Went to sleep. Oh, I have apnea device. Went to sleep center. Does the missus complain you snore? Nope. Monkey D. Cluffy says, what's up? Hey, Layman Board broke his leg, it looks like, from chat. Dude, that's awful. That is awful. Good to have you back. I hope you recover from that soon, but Jesus Christ, from what I've heard, breaking your leg is kind of always really, really nasty, so that sucks, brother. Sorry. Brent Anderson has flown 12, and he's got 12 charging. Crom did 20 today. Look at you guys. Look at you guys. Just getting better. Getting better together with me. That's what it's about, man. And having fun along the way. Can you please... There we go. Hold on. Let me quit out of a couple things real quick here. Why is there so much shit opened? Get out of here. All right, so... Oh, I need to do this Amazon order. Oh, fuck. Is there time? Is there time? Hold on. Hold on, guys! Oh my god, why? What? $40? Oh no. Oh no. Have I waited too long, friends? Have I waited too long? I think I've waited too long. I waited too long. The thing I was going to get Azalea for her birthday has sold out. But there's this one. I'll give it a shot. Yo, the air conditioner broke. I put a, I finally put, I got a, my parents got me a Nest thermostat for Christmas. I finally put it up, set it up, everything, and 2 days later the air conditioning compressor has shit the bed. I have to assume that the thermostat stressed the air conditioner out in some weird way. That's the only thing that makes any sense. But kind of doesn't matter. The air conditioner compressor is making a super loud hissing sound when it's on, which I'm sure is not great. But not much I can do about it. Not much I can do about it, you know? I've got the home warranty people coming out. I put a thing in. And they'll come and wave their magic wand and hopefully say, hey, the whole goddamn outdoor unit jib-jab needs to be replaced. And then I'll be like, cool, here's your $100. Replace that shit, bro. Yo, if you've got a house where shit be breaking, get yourself a home warranty. $80 a month. And yeah, it has saved us. Actually, it's less than that. Last year and the year before, it was $60-something a month. And each year, there has been like $2 to $3 grand minimum in stuff that it's replaced. For $100 each time. So yeah, we've saved a ton of money with that. But like when we moved into this house, something that we saw and I noticed all over the place is that everything was old. Everything was from the 90s. I was like, yeah, everything's gonna break. The downstairs HVAC unit, the upstairs HVAC unit, the air conditioning system, all the appliances, and these are all things that these home warranties replace. So think about it, yo. If your shit's getting old, think about it. What is happening here? Why won't this go? It went. It's good. All's well. Everything's fine. Nobody panic. It's organic. What? Alright. Look. Look what I'm getting Azalea for her birthday. I hate to do it because, like, Crosley turntables are garbage and they ruin your records, but it's okay. It's a good starting point. I had a Fisher Price record player when I was a kid. Azalea can have a Crosley. This is the bigger Crosley that has a better set of speakers in it, and it also has a magnetic cartridge, which is a lot better. So yeah, that'll be cool. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Metadarson says, I'm on a plane somewhere over the U.S. Do you dare me to fly 6 batteries in here? That would be super fun to fly on an airliner. Walter says, put some drones on a steady current so you have a nice vent. Yeah, right. Brad Bondin spelled my name wrong, but I just happened to see it. Just flew an awesome church with trees, walkways, and a parking lot. Sick place on my 3.5. Loving this rig. Very cool. What is it? What 3.5-inch rig is it? Walter says, I hope soon I can I can tell come to my casa in Thailand. You live in Thailand, Walter? No, you don't. You liar. Where do you live? I am eagerly awaiting my Siren F3s from Quadmula. I don't understand why they're not here yet, to be really honest. But maybe they are. Maybe they're sitting out in the mailbox right now. Come to think of it, I don't think I've seen a what? I don't think I've seen a tracking number on that. A stream of mine from like 3 years ago just got copyright dinged. Not copyright strucken, but the content aware filter thing just found it. That's super weird. That happens every once in a while. I'm like, why now? Why are you going through 3-year-old content on your website? YouTube, what are you doing? All right. So let's dive into these 75mm rigs. I realized the other night on stream, and then I was flying yesterday a bunch, that I have flown enough 75mm stuff right now, like in the last couple of months, from a lot of the testing that we've been doing, that I'm actually currently more adjusted to the way that these fat big rigs fly than the little bastards. And so now is a great time to kind of like lean into that and just fly a whole bunch of 75s and discuss the differences and try to really learn a bunch and figure out one of the carrot on the string for 75 for a long time for me is that it's better outside than 65. 65s are really good outside. Like, don't get me wrong, but hands down, 75 rigs are better. They're just heavier, and they've got more power to fight against the wind, and they've also got more mass to throw over stuff. And yeah, if we can find one with, if we can find a setup with quick enough response time, it then also becomes somewhat flyable inside the house. The caveat there being they're heavy and they're going to hit your stuff harder. Where's Missouri? Where's Missouri at? St. Louis? Too far. Too far. And so, yeah. But what I would love to find is a 75mm setup that's good enough for outside, but also works inside. So if you've got like a bigger place, or if you're flying at the warehouse and work, or something like that, you know what I mean? You can do a build that both works at home, at work, and outside. That is the magical combination that I would love to find. I don't think it exists. I think that there are too many. I think that when you do that, there are too many compromises that you're making. But let's just keep trying. Let's just keep smashing our heads into it, and eventually we'll get a bloody nose. I need to... Does anybody else have AirPods that fall out of their ears? Is that just me? If you do, have you tried any of the aftermarket earbuds? These are the earbuds that they give you. I've now tried all 4 different sizes of these earbuds that they give you, and the goddamn things still fall out of my ears. Anybody been through the AirPods fall out of ears cycle? Well, that's gone forever. Brad Monden says DarwinFPV Baby Ape 2 converted to Walksnail. Volador 3.5 frame ready when this breaks. Very cool. Curtis Hayes says bought 3 tiny whoops, backups, none giving me video. What the hell? Right out of the box? Oh, I brought 3 tiny whoops. And none of them are working. I mean, you followed the right rule. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. 3 is some and 2 is still none. That's weird. Walter says, I like some of your old content. The car drives. It's fun to me. Very cool. Enjoy it, man. I've been putting shit up on YouTube for like 16 years. It's ridiculous. Walter also says, I have to run. Holland, it's epic for me over here. I insulted everybody and it gets dangerous. I'm looking everywhere. I can lay my head in peace, and Asia is maybe the way to go. Minos133 says, what is the difference between the Cockroach 65mm Light AF and V3? Is it just weight and durability, or is there also a flight feeling difference? Just weight and durability. I mean, of course there's a flight feeling difference, right? Because it's a different weight. And light rigs fly drastically different. The other difference is the lack of hooks. I don't have a Light AF frame floating around here, but the Cockroach V3 frame has the little hooks on it that you need to run the Batwing camera mount. So if you're ever looking to do the no duct and view thing, yeah, the V3 is great. There's nothing wrong with the Cockroach V3 frame. Look, here it is. If you're buying Cockroach frames and you're trying to decide versus the V3 versus the Light AF, don't. Just buy both. Buy the clear Light AF and buy the clear V3. They're like $4 each. It's well worth it. It's well worth it to have each one. Well worth it to have each one. And then you can run the Light AF first, and then if it breaks, it'll break quicker than the V3 would have, and then you can swap to the V3, and then you can, you know, like run the Light AF now. Yo, it is hot as shit in here. You can run the Light AF now, and then when it breaks, switch to the V3, and you'll be used to the Light AF by that point. So it'll be like, that'll be a good time for you to switch, because, you know, you'll be dialed in on the Light AF. You switch to the V3, you'll be like, wow, this feels a little bit heavier. I don't like that. But then you'll start crashing it and maybe be like, well, this crash is better. I do like it. You know what I mean? Adam Weston says, AirPods 1 or 2? I think it's the 2. I hear the V2 is much better at sticking. Yeah, it's the Pro. It's the 2 Pro, I think. Striker says, for sure, finally got foam ear tips and the small ones fit pretty perfect. I've heard that. I've heard there are aftermarket foam ear tips that are the way to go. Ramdongo says, yarp, perfect math. Walter says, ask somebody with a scanner to scan your ears and 3D print good plugs. Interesting. Striker says, it's hard to get a good fit with the default ones with the medium tips. Lots of tenderness and sometimes pain after. None of that with foam tips. Very cool. Foam tips it is. Brandon Spapian says, if you're shopping, then I hear there's no MEMS driver earbuds. It's supposed to be too clear. That's the same tech we use in our gyro chips. Search creative Arvana Ace. I feel like I'd seen a thumbnail about this. No shit. MEMS driver. Creative Orvana. $100 it looks like. $80, $106. I have these. I traded some FPV stuff for these AirPods Pros. I wouldn't be able to spend like $100 on earbuds right now, but that's okay. Crom says, had my first 2S battery fire yesterday. Jesus. Killing a just tuned build after half a pack. Ever had a 1S battery burst into flames yourself? I haven't. Yeah, that sucks, dude. It sucks when battery fires eat the rest of the build. That's like such a kick in the balls. Metal Ritson says, all the earbuds fall out of my ears. Now use a set of Beats that loop over the ear and stay in fine. Very cool. Andrew Taylor says, you can get fancy pants alternative tips for Samsung's bugs. I'm sure they exist for Apple too, like foam neoprene rubber type rather than silicone. Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. Brand Anderson says, tried to mount 1002s onto a 75 Pro frame and the screws are too short. Frame seems thick there. M1.4x4/5 and 6 are on the way. What is the standard size length? The standard length is I actually don't know it. I'm going to have to look. Looks like 3. Looks like 3 millimeters is the standard length. Although here's what's interesting. Yeah, no, 3 millimeters. 3 millimeters is the standard length. I wonder why you're dealing with that. That's a little weird. I mean, I will say this: when I've worked on these 75 Pro frames, I have noticed that they are thick bitches. And I'm kind of, on one hand, not surprised to hear that, but at the same time, I sort of am. Hold on, let me pull a screw from this and see if it's the regular length. Yeah, I can already kind of tell that that might be a mil longer. Hold on. One, two, three. Nope. Regular length. That's weird, man. I don't know why you had that issue. Yeah, well, I mean, I will say this. There is not a lot of engagement there. But, I mean, the motor base is pretty thin, too. Oh, dude. Are you having problems because of this stupid lip that they put on here? Did you grind the little lip down? It's hard for me to show you that. On the 75 Pro, on the 75 Air as well, they don't just have a flat motor pad. They put this stupid-ass raised edge on there. So are you trying to bolt down a motor that's different than BetaFPV motors and it's sitting up on that ridge rather than dropping flat? You might need to grind that ridge away. I did that. I had to do that on... There's a black 75 Pro frame floating around that I had to do that on. Check that. That's the only thing I can think of. Walter Van Den Ord says, Fart Friday. You could put 3 tiny whoops on a car battery and it will fill it with a solar cell. Striker says, kind of tempted to try 1102 on 45mm now. Might finally. It makes big power. It's awful heavy, though. Brandon Anderson says, about a millimeter went through and got 3 mounted, but 1 was a mess. Frame look a little puddly there. Yikes. Interesting. Puddly, huh? Looked puddly. What do we fly first? Let's go... Let's weigh all these. That's the first thing we're going to do, is weigh all 4 of these, because that's kind of the biggest difference between them, if I'm totally honest with you, is the weight. 3 of these are on HQ ultralight props. 1 of them is on Gemfan 1610s. Nothing wrong with the Gemfans. It's just these HQ ultralights are lighter for sure, and it's really helping out with the response time. One of the biggest issues with these 75mm rigs is the lack of response time. And so any weight that we can shave off of a propeller is going to help with that. All right, so 22.4 grams is the VCI 0703 motored Mobula 7 1S ELRS, although this does have the 2G4 AIO, so this is slightly lighter. So this is kind of the lightest weight. I mean, I guess you could buy a Mobula 6 2024 and convert it to 75 and it would be lighter than this. But this is up... Yeah, this is one of the lightest Happy Model setups you can do. 2G4, old school canopy, Runcam Nano 3, little micro V antenna, Mobula 7 V4 frame, VCI 0703 motors, HQ 1.6 inch ultralight biblades. BT 2.0 that's a little bit too long. I could get this down to 22 grams right on the nose, but whatever. 22.4. Just call it 22 grams, all right? So 22 grams is going to be the lightest thing that we fly here. Same exact build, but with an X12 AIO, which is a little bit heavier, and 0802.8 27,000 kV motors from VCI. Big, gnarly, thrusty-ass motors. 25 grams. Good God. Everything else is the same. Motors and AIO are slightly heavier, and this is all the way up to 25 grams. Is that right? Jesus. From 22.5 all the way up to 25. God, that does not seem right, but I know it is. These motor 0803 is way bigger than 0703, and the X12 is a big, thick AIO. This might not be. Yeah, okay. Now we're up to 27.2 grams. This is the BetaFPV camera canopy VTX that they put on all of their bind and flies with the cross style lightweight AIO. But then I've put this into a Meteor 75 Air frame with the BetaFPV 1102 22,000 kV motors. These are the same motors that are on this bind and fly Meteor 75 Pro. This is a frame and motor combo that I've been testing on the 1S Walksnail build, and now I've got it on analog. And I think I need to put this into Betaflight and like bind it and shit. 27.2 grams. 27.2 grams because the camera canopy VTX setup is heavier. The AIO is a little bit lighter than these AIOs, but it's offset by the external VTX and the camera and canopy. This is the Meteor 75 Air frame. This is the lightest of the frames. This frame is 1 gram lighter than the Mobula 7 V4 frames. And so, yeah, I really dig this frame. These motors are heavy. This camera canopy VTX is heavy. BT 2.0, middle of the road weight antenna. So yeah, we'll get this in the Betaflight, get it going. What did I say it weighed? 27.2? 27.2 grams for this guy. And then the fat boy of the evening, the true fat boy of the evening, is 31.3 grams for the Meteor 75 Pro. But, as you'll see in a little bit, the response time and the power from this motor and propeller combo makes up for it. I went back and forth between the new HQ 45mm tri-blades and bi-blades. I think I like the bi-blades better because they're lighter. The tri-blades are noticeably quieter, and they're totally fine. Like, I'm really impressed by the tri-blades, but the bi-blades are just a little bit lighter, which just gives you a little bit more snappiness, a little bit more response time, which helps this big fat frame and with these big fat motors that are pushed farther out, right? So, yeah, I think the bi-blades are the way to go. But what I am going to do at some point here is fly a bunch of batteries. Well, let's dive into it. So there are 4 different propeller options for the Meteor 75 Pro. These are 45mm diameter propellers. GemFan put out the first 2 sets of them ages ago, and they're okay. The bi-blades, so I had been pushing the tune farther and farther and farther on this, and it's a pretty aggressive tune at this point. But with the HQ ultralight tri-blades and bi-blades, it's completely fine. When I moved over to the GemFan 45mm bi-blades, they couldn't handle it. The tune was overactive, and I had to start backing the tune off. These bi-blades are a little bit heavier than these bi-blades here. Yes, these make a little bit more thrust. These have a little bit more pitch, but yeah, if they were better balanced, it would be one thing, but the fact that I have to back the tune off because they're not balanced quite perfectly is kind of the kiss of death for the GemFan bi-blades. The GemFan tri-blades, which are what ship with this thing in white, but you can also get them in smoke crotch gray. These are well balanced enough for the tune, for an aggressive tune, but they're heavy. They are heavier than the HQ ultralight tri-blades, and they just soften everything up in a way that I don't necessarily love it. And I also think that these motors aren't quite big enough for that heavy and that pitchy of a propeller. It's also more pitchy than the HQ tri-blade. And it's just a little too much. It's a little bit too much propeller for these motors. When you switch from that over to the HQ 45 tri-blade, they call it 45mm by 3 GRPC 1.5. When you switch over to these props, you feel a definite difference in the response time. It's more snappy, it's more poppy, it's more reactive. It doesn't feel like it has any less thrust. Even though these are slightly less pitchy. These are a 1-inch pitch, I believe. These are... I think these are a 1.2 pitch, the tri-blades here. Where this thing really comes alive, though, is when you put it onto the new 45mm bi-blades, the ultralight bi-blades. You can just tell. You can just tell that it's a lighter propeller, but it also has enough pitch, and these motors have enough RPM where it makes good power in this with these buys on here. So I'm not going to switch props on today's stream, but what I am going to do is fly a whole bunch of batteries on this with the bi-blades and then switch back to the tri-blades. I have gone back and forth a couple of times between the bi-blades and the tri-blades, and it's pretty obvious the difference. But I really like to get used to a rig on X, Y, or Z gear and fly a bunch of batteries and really dial into it and then change things. Those are the times that I can actually start to feel the nuances of it. Like at the bottom of a dive, this propeller is better than that one. At the top of a power loop, this propeller is better than that one. Sometimes it'll just be this propeller outperforms that propeller. A lot of times that happens with weight. A prop that's lighter weight, it makes such a difference. But then you get into the world of durability. This is a very stout frame. This is a very strong frame. So I think that we'll be able to get away with these fragile ultralight propellers. Only time will tell. I got to fly a bunch of batteries to kind of dial in on that. So yeah, that's sort of the plan for this. I don't know what to do with it after that. I don't think I'm going to keep this. Maybe we do a giveaway for it because it's great and it deserves to be flown, and I'm not going to fly it a ton. I have other rigs that have better cameras, better VTXs, and this just makes a lot of sense to leave it right here. If I keep this, I'm going to end up changing the camera, changing the VTX, changing the canopy, and then it's going to become this weird Frankenstein, which I could have just done with the parts and pieces that I already have, right? This right here as a package, done in my hands. This is awesome. This deserves to just be flown by someone. And so, yeah, I think that's what I want to do. I think that this needs to get into the hands of one of you beautiful bastards, because it is a hell of a little platform. The tune's all cranked up. Brandon helped me dial in the tune for the BMI 270. I pushed the shit out of the PIDs. It doesn't prop wash pretty much ever at this point. It's awesome. It's ready to go. It needs to just be flown for hundreds of batteries straight. Let's get this thing. Let's get the motors turning in the right direction on this thing, and get it kind of going here. First things first, though, it's going to need to be bound. I don't think that it has been yet. So this is an ELRS 2.5 module on here. I don't know if this is the right one. We are about to find out. So we're going to plug in 3 times. Hopefully that puts it into bind mode. Once, twice, 3 times. Give me a double green. There's the double green. All right, let's see what version of Express LRS it's on. Bind mode, sending bind request, binding. Beeps are good. Solid green is good. Betaflight 2.5. Motors are definitely spinning in the wrong direction, though. All right. Cool. Arm switch is on the right switch, though. You know what I can do? I can grab a diff off of this Meteor 75, because I think this has not been set up at all yet. I believe this thing is absolutely brand new and needs all the things. Hey, Mr. Johnny, or just Johnny, welcome to the Gangly Gang, my friend. Thank you for joining the Patreon. Computer, cooperate. There we go. I know there was another one. Oh, there is the Quadmula shipped on the 9th. Man, it's been a while. I think it might be shipping from overseas, though. I swear to God there was another one. Minos133, welcome to the Gangly Gang, brother. Thank you for joining the Patreon. It means a lot to me. CiottiFPV.com, friends. If you want to join the Patreon or just, like, you know, support me, there's a ton of different ways you can do that over there. CiottiFPV.com. Poops. Yeah, alright. So nothing's set up here. So this is on Betaflight 4.3. Old school. Okay. Let's update this. Update to 4.5, and then we are going to do a diff from the Meteor 75 Pro. Load firmware online. Flash firmware. We'll create a backup. Just in case. Just in case. Whenever you create the backup, open it up. Make sure there's stuff in it. There we go. Alright, it's flashing to 4.5. I'm going to put this back up here. And I'm just going to put some letters in front of it. Goober. Okay. We good. Alright, Betaflight. Do yo thing. Do yo thing. Curtis Hayes found the problem on the first Tiny Whoop. Solder joint broke from the BT 2.0 wire. What do you do for strain relief? I don't. I just try to be nice to the wires. I've tried strain relief in the past. It just ends up getting in the way. Yeah, they break every once in a while. Gusto FPV says, just got the Meteor 85, needs different 2-inch biblade props than Gem Fan. Any ideas, anyone? No. That's weird. What the hell is that about? Hey, programming successful. Connect. Okay. Just for the sake of clearing out that message. Okay. All right. This is now on 4.5.1. Meteor 75 Pro. Yo, this is going to be nice to just migrate everything over from the Meteor 75. All right. Connect. 4.5.1. Great. Same board, right? BetaFPV F411. Yep, we got it. So we're going to come in here to presets, and we're going to do save backup. And save it here to the desktop. And then we're going to disconnect. I'm only able to do this because these are similar rigs, and this is the exact same AIO. If it's not the exact same AIO, don't do this. Load backup. And there it is. It's the one that I didn't type goober into. And so now this is going to load all the all the filtering stuff, all the OSD stuff, all the stuff. I'm going to erase the black box. Why am I so lazy? Why can't I just grab the goddamn gangly fan out? Skull901 says, or Skull901 says, on the True IC10, how do I know if I need left-hand circular pause or right hand? Right hand is pretty much all analog stuff. Left hand is pretty much all digital stuff. But there's no reason that you can't run left hand on analog or right hand on digital. It's just when they ship all the digital stuff, it comes with left hand antennas, and most people use them. So, yeah. Koala says, first whoop with Crossfire. What do you recommend even if I have to put in my own RX? I want to rip at a local mall that has multiple levels. I recommend you not go with Crossfire. Why not go ELRS? Have you not switched over to ELRS yet? Are you not praying at the Church of ELRS yet? What the hell? Crossfire whoops are okay. I mean, you're going to have to do a Crossfire Nano. There's no real other option. For Crossfire, something that's like light and small enough. I feel like I'm missing the question though. All this looks good. Move it down to 100 million watts. Joking, of course. What did I do that for? All right, let's get these motors spinning in the right direction. I am dizzy as a motherfucker. Okay, motor direction wizard. Here we go. Farts. Motor 1 is going the wrong way. Click it to reverse it. Hey, it reversed. Motor 2 is correct. Motor 3 is correct. Motor 4 is going to be wrong. Sure is. Stop motors. Close. I understand the risks. Fire them up. Motor 1 is correct. 2 is correct. 4 is correct. Ow! 3 tried to bite me, you fucker. Let's see what kind of RPM we get. Just out of curiosity. 52,000. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Oh. Oh. I've just learned something. I think we can tell if a FET is failing by doing what I was just doing. Remember the 2G4 with the failing FET? Remember what we would see? At one point, the RPMs would go higher and then they would come down. Watch this. Watch right here. You're going to see 52,000 and it should stay there. Oh, wait. No, I'm using a tiny little battery. Hold on. Let's use a much bigger battery for this. I was using a 260 mAh battery just now. I'm surprised that that worked at all. All right, ready? Watch the RPM. See how it stayed at 49? Well. See how it's staying there? A minute ago, when I fired up motor number 2... Now it's okay. All right, never mind. A second ago, when I fired up motor number 2, it went to 52,000 RPMs, and then it very quickly went 50, 49, 48, and then it stayed at 48. That's the same behavior that I saw on that 2G4 that seemed to not have enough oomph for these big motors. But I think what it actually was this little 260 I was just asking too much of this little 260 mAh battery. Where'd the little checker go? Let me see what... Here's what's super interesting, though, is that it was hitting higher RPM on this little tiny battery, which is still at 4.17 volts. I would think it would be lower than that. Oh, this is the guy that's lower. That's why I had... Why are you dead? I just charged you, you little bastard. All right, hold on. Hold on. That battery should not be down on voltage like that. That doesn't make any sense. We're going to try that again because there's a chance that I just figured out how we can tell if FETs are on their way out. Let me just put these batteries back on the charger. Because, no, the other ones are fine. It was just that one. I might have used that battery for something. All right, fully charged 450. Let's see if this is any different. This would be nice. It would be nice to be able to figure out when a FET is about to die, because reasons. It's just annoying. It's annoying as hell when they let go and you don't know about it, because then like you think it's the motor, you think it's this, you think it's that. All right, so motors tab. Zoom you guys in again. And, all right, look for the RPMs to drop. They should just go up and stay solid. Ready? We should see like 52,000. Wow, 55, 56. Well, 52. 52. Motor 1 is hot. Motor 1 is hot, but it is coming down. 50. It goes up to 55, and then it comes down to 52. See 52 come down to 49? See how that one stays? See how that one was staying up at 52? The battery is fine. See how it stays at 52? That's what we want. We want it to stay. So motor 1 is turning... Motor 1 was turning 55 and then coming down to 52. Now it's just solid at 52. Watch Motor 2, though. Motor 2 is the one that was suspect a minute ago, and it still is. See that? I think that's a FET that's on its way out. I think that's what that is. It's getting hot. Oh, yeah, look at the temperatures. That FET is much hotter. Come on. There we go. Look, 59 Celsius. The only other one that's 59 is 4. This is 45, even after that big hit, and 53. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know what any of that actually means, but I'm trying to figure it out with you guys, you know? This thing should be flyable. What the hell? Let's fly this first. So this is a little bit of a Frankenstein build, but this is probably pretty similar. That BetaFPV probably sells something... that's kind of just like this. Let's see. It would probably be a Meteor, and it's probably going to be this Meteor. No, that's the Pro. Meteor 75. It's probably going to be this. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, this is almost... Yeah. So what I'm about to fly is this guy with different motors. It's and a different frame. So it's the Meteor 75 Air frame, which is a little bit lighter, and then it's bigger motors. These are 0802s. I've got 1102s on it. So basically what I'm about to fly is a combination of the regular Meteor 75 with the Meteor 75. You know what it is? What I'm about to fly is a Meteor 75 Pro with a frame swap. So you bought the Meteor 75 Pro, you don't like the 45mm props, they're too big, you don't like the big frame, there's too much duct in view, so you swap it out to a Meteor 75 Air frame. That's what I want to fly now. I want to see if it's flyable. I haven't put this rig up in the air yet. And so yeah, let's see how it is. This might be better than the Meteor 75 Pro. The bigger props, you know, bigger propellers are great for more runtime, but with tiny whoops, runtime is not like, with analog tiny whoops, I should say, runtime is not typically the primary concern. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Come on. Come on. Restarting the computer really threw a wrench in the works. Hang on. Alright. Hopefully we should have video back in a second. Ah! Oh my god, it is so fucking hot in here. This is misery, man. Hey, alright. Tune might be a little bit much. I heard a little bit of anger when I blipped the throttle up and down now. Just now, I should say. My HDZero goggles are acting worse and worse. When I turn them on at this point, they get stuck in the menu. I constantly, for the last week, I have to turn them on. They get stuck in the menu. I have to turn them off, and then I have to turn them back on. Every single time I have to do that. All right, here we go. Here we go with the little Meteor 75 Pro with different frame setup. Wow, this camera's bad. What on earth? Somebody coming down the stairs. Somebody going up the stairs. Wow, okay. Alright, so these are 1.5 millimeter motor shaft motors. And these are 1.6 inch props. Our propellers, our selection of really good propellers is a little bit limited, unfortunately. This is on the the Gemfan 1610 biblades, which are fine, but the 45 millimeter HQ ultralight biblades outperform these. You saw that big hit of prop wash just now. This, even though it's lighter, this is making a good amount less thrust, and I feel like these propellers might be heavier. It doesn't seem to have the thrust or the response time. Thrust I can see, but response time doesn't necessarily make any sense, other than that these propellers are heavier. It doesn't have the thrust or the response time of the 75 Pro build. If you're gonna do a build like this, you want to really get it lightweight by switching out the canopy and the camera and the VTX. The camera is working a lot better right now, though, which is nice. Those first couple of seconds, the camera was super pissed. That was weird. Oh my god. Yeah! Yeah, this just kind of feels like every other 75 millimeter build that I've ever flown, where I'm not impressed at all. It feels heavy, kind of like soft around the edges, sort of thing. Oh, Teddy! A surprise Teddy attack. Oh, man. Alright, let's do another battery on this. I did not think this would struggle this much. Okay, hold on. Let's talk about this. So, I've been flying these three quite a bit. All three of these either are extra lightweight or have really good response time to make themselves feel lighter than they actually are. Which is great. Whatever it takes, that's fine. This just feels like every other 75 millimeter rig that I've ever flown and not really loved. Even though it's a lot lighter than this on the exact same motors. So This is on a 1.6 inch, 1.5 millimeter motor shaft propeller. There aren't a lot of options. The GemFan 1610 that it's on right now is the best option. I do wish that there was an HQ Ultralight version. There is an HQ Ultralight 1.6 inch biblade, but it's a 1 millimeter motor shaft, and you really can't drill these props out. You can't drill them out from 1 millimeter to 1.5 and have it still be centered. I tried it on a bunch of these biblades, and 2 out of the 4 are, like, I can see that they are off center, and as soon as you fire the motors up, you feel it. So yeah, drilling a propeller out from 1 mil to 1.5 without some kind of a drill press and jig setup is just unrealistic. Wow, I can't believe how bad this flies. Let's try a different propeller. We're gonna go to. So this thing has 2 problems right now. The response time isn't great, and the amount of thrust is not great, and that is a rough combination of problems to have. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to a tri-blade propeller, which is gonna hurt the response time, but in theory, it'll pick up some thrust. This is one of the ways that I test stuff, is to make a change like this. But the most important part is to, like, understand what you're doing. Like making this change is great and all, but then if you just fly it and you're like, oh, okay, it flies. Like you have to make this change, and then you have to be cognizant of what's actually changing, so that you can focus on that to decide, is more thrust but worse response time the way to go here? There's a chance that these 1610 biblades are the way to go. There's a chance that these are the best propeller for this setup. There's also a chance that it's not. And that's what we're trying to figure out here. So if you're swapping back and forth with propellers to try to find which ones you like the best, this is an important thing. Like, look at the propellers that you're switching to and just think for a minute about what they're going to do. Weigh them, look up the specs, whatever it takes. But make sure that you know what that propeller that you're about to put on does better or worse, so that you can, have a more educated experience with trying to figure out which one you prefer. Make sense? Left, right, left. Okay, cool. So I'm going to move over to the GemFan 1608 tri-blades. They are quite a bit heavier. Let's take a look. But tri-blades are going to make more thrust if there's enough motor to push them through that extra air. So the propellers that are going on, 4 of them, weigh 1.6 grams. The props that are coming off, 4 of them. So 1.6 is what's going on. What's coming off, oh boy. Wow. 1.0. So we're putting a set of propellers on here that's 60% heavier. But these are 1102 22,000 kV motors. So in theory, these motors will have enough grunt to push these propellers. And we might have a rig that flies a little bit better. Let's find out. I don't think so. I think this is going to make the situation worse. I think this is going to not necessarily make more power, but it's certainly going to make the response time slower. But this is why we test, because you don't know. You can theory craft this shit all day long. Very common. What's going to happen is when you actually go to try it, you'll be either wrong, or there won't be any different. There won't be any difference. All right, yo, let's see. First thing we'll notice is whether or not the tune goes all fakakta. Flat spot away. There we go. All right, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to get caught up on chat. I see you guys hammering away in there. Give me a minute. Here we go. BetaFPV 1102 22,000s on the GemFan 1608 tri-blades. It's worse. Can you see the lack of response time? Can you see, like, just listen and watch. See how early, like, you hear the motors spin up, but then the quad takes forever to then actually, like, accelerate? Oh, boy. Oh boy. So the other way that you can tell that the response time took a beating is that prop wash. It's way more evident. There is maybe a little bit more thrust, but you don't get the extra thrust, full throttle, for like a half a second. So yeah, this is better on the bi-blades. With the bi-blades, it feels like it made almost the same amount of thrust. Yeah, see that prop wash down at the bottom of the dive? This is a very aggressive PID tune. And for it to not be able to handle this, that means that... Oh, boy. My HDZero goggles just turned off. The battery was getting a little bit low. That was probably my fault. Alright. Yo, these HDZero goggles eat batteries. Holy cow. There is some serious juju going on inside of these goggles that requires electricity. Electricity! Yeah, video just went black and I just disarmed it. I have no idea where it is. I see Teddy, though. I'm flying from the live stream right now. Oh boy, the latency is absurd. Let's see if I can get it down the stairs through OBS. We're good. We're good. Oh god, we're not good. Oh, we're not good. Oh, we're good. We're good. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Wow, the latency. I just blew all the propellers away that were on the desk. Oh my god. Oh, it's difficult. Alright, hold on. They're just... I was just showered with propellers. I think some went on the floor. Yeah, some went on the floor. For God's sakes, Jim. Why is this battery is dead too? Or all the batteries dead? Yeah, this flies like ass with these 1608 propellers. It's because they're too heavy. If these props were lighter, it would be one thing. So this is interesting, man. This sort of build doesn't really have a great home. These motors are too heavy for this size of propeller. This is interesting, man. This makes sense as to why I didn't like the Walksnail 1.6-inch prop setup with these motors. Look at that prop wash at the bottom there. Oh, yikes. I've never loved these 1608 propellers. They've always been kind of heavy and just not made tons of thrust. This kind of backs that up. These propellers would need like an 1103 Or maybe like an 803 would do it with these propellers. But yeah, these are heavy, man. These are heavy ass propellers. 1.6 grams for 4 of them. That's a lot. So yeah, these 1102s are a little too big of a motor with the 1.5 millimeter motor shaft. These are a little too big of a motor for 1.6 inch props. There is not a good 1.6 inch prop that matches up with these BetaFPV 1102 22,000s. If these were a higher KV, if these were like 25,000, 27,000, maybe even 30,000, they would pair really well with these Gemfan 1610 biblades. But they're not. The reason why these motors work on this is because the propellers are bigger and because these HQ ultralight brand new 45 millimeter props are ultralight, and that helps with the response time. So we're going to compare what you just saw with this guy right here, which is considerably heavier, same exact motors. Here we go. You won't believe the difference here. Flat spot towards me. Make sure that this wire doesn't get all fakakta. All right. Here we go, friends. Meteor 75 Pro with an antenna swap, true RC singularity, ultra short, and a prop swap. And that's it. That is it. Oh, my transmitter's not on. I was going to say, how the hell does this have a different version of ELRS? It's the same exact AIO. After this, I'll get caught up on chat. Sorry, guys. See the difference? See the difference? When I'm banging the sticks exactly the same as I was. So, like, don't think that I'm being harder on this rig. That's the response time that you're seeing. Oh, we were on the ceiling for that one. Oh, shit! That was pretty fucking cool. Is that a package? Oh, it's a package! Who's it from? Who's it from? We need that. We need that pack. Is it a couple packages? Can't read them. Oh, God! Why does the video get so bad? This rig at the top of the stairs, the video gets awful. Hold on. Hold on. And it's on 200. Let's go up to 400. That's the answer. More power. It actually is. It's fine up here now. Oh, I was getting dangerously close to the ceiling fan on that one. Ceiling fan orbits! Jesus, it's hard with this thing. Why is it so much easier with the 65 millimeter rigs? Maybe the fan's just going really fast. I'm asking too much of it. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm also keeping an eye on the voltage. This is hard. Look at all the throttle I'm using to do that. Let's do it the other way. The sketchy way. Oh, boy! This is a mistake! This is a mistake. Oh, God. Wow, there it goes again. Why does it get so bad there, yo? It's on 4,000 million milliwatts. I'm going to turn it back down. I hate running these VTXs like all the way up at their full power settings. Son of a bitch. These HDZeros just shut off again. This battery was getting low, though. All my batteries are discharged. What about this one? Will this one have enough charge in it to get through one battery? Let's see. Let's find out. FPV.Kiwi with a 5 New Zealand dollary due super chat. Thank you, brother. Mobula 6 Eco, the frame screws pop all the time. What do you recommend instead? What would you mod to get the most of it? When you say the screws pop, are they breaking the frame or are they just popping out of the holes in the frame? I need to know that. If they're ripping the plastic posts out of the frame, then you want to run longer screws. Oh my god, I think this camera is really hot right now. Look how bad it looks. Let's see if it gets any better as I cruise around a little bit and try to cool it down. It's getting a little bit better, isn't it? Yeah, it's better for sure. Woo! Full fucking commitment on that stairway dive. There you go, friends. Yeah. That flies way better. Can you guys see it? Can you see it in the flight footage? How much better this thing flies than the other one? Perfect example of why we test. I would totally think, as would you, that this thing would have the advantage. It's what, like 6 grams lighter? I think it was 5 or 6 grams lighter. You know, 1102s you would think would pair up totally fine with 1610s, and they do. They pair okay, but it's not great. These 1102s really come alive on these 45mm rigs. FPV.Kiwi says, not breaking. Okay. So, you still want longer screws. HDZero Mobula 6 Eco. Hold on, I gotta see what canopy that has. Mobula 6 Eco. Oh, it's got that canopy. Okay. It's got that canopy. Oh, yeah. Okay. I do not know what screws that thing has, but I know that you need longer screws to fix the issue. So my guess is going to be that the screws so these are the screws that are popping, right? And so these are longer screws. These are M1.2 screws. That's what these are. M1.2. And yeah, you just got to get longer ones. So take one of these screws out and measure the distance from the bottom of the screw head to the end of the screw. And I think what you're going to find is that it's 10 millimeters. And so that would mean that this is an M1.2 by 10 screw. You need to order some M1.2 by 12s, maybe even some M1.2 by 14s. And that's going to drive the screw farther into the plastic post down here. And that's going to keep it from popping out. If the screws hadn't been popping out already, what you could do is just tighten the screws more. Just tighten them down more, and they'll engage with more of that plastic post. But the fact that the screws have been popping out, they have probably stripped out the top of those plastic posts already. So you really need, at this point, a longer screw, or you need to replace the frame. If you replace the frame, you can then tighten these screws up more than they were, and more of the screw will be engaging with more of the plastic. But, I mean, at this point, yeah, you should get the longer screw. So pull one of these screws out, measure it by 2 millimeter longer, by 4 millimeter longer, and then you might be able to salvage this existing frame. You might still need to replace that frame, to be honest, because it's almost certainly stripped a little bit. Man, I'm still waiting to put these 1208 props onto a rig and be like, wow, these are really good. Every time I put them on something, it's like I end up disappointed. That stinks. We do not have a lot of great propeller options. It's kind of frustrating, but not much we can really do about it, unfortunately. There is an HQ 1.6-inch biblade that's drilled for 1.5 mil, but it doesn't perform as good as the GemFan 1610, so I'm not even going to bother running it. So yeah, this is just kind of a cursed setup in a way. We don't have a good enough propeller to sort of bring this thing alive. That's a shame. All right. Let me scroll up a bunch and get caught up on Chad. Here we go. Grey Hat says, should props be pushed flush with the bell on whoops? Absolutely. I've always had trouble getting my prop proper slid in between the prop and the bell. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass for sure. The clone popper from tinywhoop.com has the thinnest little fork here on the bottom, which helps quite a bit. It's still a pain in the ass sometimes. The best thing that you can possibly do is to buy a 0.99 millimeter drill bit from me, and or a 1.5 millimeter drill bit, and start to drill your propellers out before you put them on the motors. If you're putting a propeller onto a motor and you're starting to raise your elbow and make faces, stop. That's a propeller that's going to be a motherfucker to get off. Drill the propeller out before you push it too hard onto the motor. That's also how you break motors. So stop doing that for sure. If you start drilling out the propellers and you have the clone popper, you'll be fine. My days of struggling with propellers are over as long as I'm not a lazy shit and actually drill the damn things out. So yeah, that's the solution to your problem for sure. I'm exhausted, man. Dead Stiff says, swapped one of my Air 65s over to some 32,000 kV Happy Model motors and gained more power and 60 seconds of flight time on a 260 mAh battery. An extra minute. I'm actually surprised that you noticed more power. The BetaFPV motors are underrated. And I believe the Air 65 has 29,000 kV. They're actually like 32,000 kV. So I'm surprised that you can tell that there's more power with the Happy Model motors. That could be placebo. The extra minute of flight time, though, is obviously not placebo. And that's a great example of the magic that Happy Model has managed to sprinkle on their motors. They are just way more efficient than anybody else. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm surprised that you could tell that there was a little bit more power. There kind of shouldn't be. But what you might be noticing is throughout, like, you've got an extra minute of runtime, so the voltage is going to be a lot less saggy, right? So, like, instead of a 2-minute runtime, in theory here, you're getting 3 minutes. So in 2 minutes, the voltage is going to do this. In 3 minutes, the voltage is going to do that. So it's going to feel like you've got more power for more time. So that might be what you're noticing there. Dave S. says, I noticed my old 2G4 Mobula 6 has a broken antenna tower. ELRS antenna has a chip out of it on the square cube. Can you see a broken copper strip? Fix it or run it. Run it. I have a couple of mine that are like that. They work totally fine. Grey Hat says HDZero is right-hand circular polarized by default. Is it really? Wait, no, I knew that. Yeah. It's because HDZero knows what's up. Curtis Hayes says, second not working quad is the Hummingbird F4 V3. No video but connects to radio, plug into Betaflight. It reads name and type of flight controller, but it won't bring up the Betaflight config. I've had really bad luck with Hummingbird F4 V3s from a video standpoint. The flight controller won't bring up Betaflight config thing is very weird. But yeah, I have a feeling the VTX on your Hummingbird just died, like many of ours have. 2 of mine, 3 of mine, 2 or 3 of mine. I don't have any left. Daniel1964 says, do you use the foam pads on the motor mounts for the light AF frame? I don't, because I don't have a light AF frame handy, but with Happy Model motors, the motor shaft and the C-clip push really far through the base of the frame, and if I were to put the foam sticky thing here, it would touch the motor shaft and the C-clip and keep it and prevent it from spinning freely. So yeah, I don't use any of those foam pads. I put them in all the giveaways and send them out to you guys. So yeah, if you're running Happy Model motors, definitely don't use them. They will jack your motors up. Curtis Hayes says, I see this in the scroll text at the top, but that's it. Flight controller info, Betaflight version 4.4 running firm for loose Hummingbird. Yeah, I mean, that seems right. Kinetic says, what is your Whoop battery charging setup? I have 2 of these Vifly Whoopster. It's upside down. Vifly version 2 Whoopsters, and they're plugged into a Toolkit RC adjustable power supply over here. The one of them is plugged in via USB-C. That's the one that's going right now. And then the other one is on banana plugs. At the moment, I've got the banana plug set up with the little bench power supply motor testing train wreck that I've got. But yeah, when like on a Thursday, if I'm going to the drift car place, I'll hook both of these up and charge 12 batteries at once at 0.9 of an amp, and I can get pretty much all the batteries charged up pretty quick that way. Pretty simple setup. That little adjustable power supply, like, I don't use it all the time, but when I use it, it's really nice. Shout out to Frank Nicholas for sending that over to me forever ago. I was a long time ago. I was like, nah, I just use batteries for this, and I use this for that, and I use this for this. And Frank's like, yo, you should really get one of these. It's totally worth it. And I was like, nah, man, I ain't spending no money on no stuff. And then like a couple days later, there's a box in the mail. I was like, Frank, you sly son of a bitch, you. And then I start using it, and I'm like, fucking A, he was right. Like, it's really nice to have. It's the kind of thing that, like, I wouldn't say, like, run out and buy it now, because I think they're like $100. I wouldn't say, like, run out and buy it now, but, like, if you've bought everything else, you know who you are. It's really nice to have. If you've bought everything else and you want something really handy to have sitting on your bench, if you're gonna do like a lot of customizing and shit like that, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice to have. You can change the output voltage. You can, one of the best uses for it is to use the little banana plug setup with an XT60. And when you need to power up your rig and have it plugged into Betaflight, you just hook it up to that. And it operates as a smoke stopper. If it sees a short, it cuts the voltage real quick. So it's a Toolkit P200, P like Peter 200 adjustable power supply. So when you're done with a fresh build, you can plug it into that thing, turn the knob, set it to give 4S voltage or 5S voltage or 6S voltage, whatever you want, and power it up, and it'll power your quad. And if there's a short, you'll get the same short stopper setup where you get like BAP, and then it lets go. And so yeah, it's very, very handy. Very, very handy to have. That being said, You can spend $15 on a portable smoke stopper V2. This is the only smoke stopper that actually works, made by Betaflight. For 15, 20 bucks, whatever these cost, and a battery, which you already have, you can simulate the one of the really nice uses of it. For me, doing the testing that I'm doing, it's really nice. I can turn it down to like 4 volts and have it output a constant voltage to this thing for the RPM testing that we were doing. It's a nice way to plug in these Betaflight Whoopsters. Yeah, a lot of different uses. Really, really handy little thing. Curtis Hayes says, I'm going to try updating firmware to the latest. That won't help, but you might as well. There's nothing else you can do. Can I get a channel? Says, going to rip some batteries. Love the footage. Fun stuff. Have fun, homie. Vincent says, all in the sound, too. You could hear it, right? You could totally hear it. You can hear how quickly the props spin up. Gert Jan X is in the house. He says, do you know if there's a possible way to address more than 32 LEDs in Betaflight or in any other way? I have absolutely no idea. I wouldn't even know where to tell you to begin to look for the answer to that question, unfortunately. That's a super interesting question. I have no clue. Maybe somebody in chat knows. CMYKFPV is in the house. CMYKFPV is going to be the guest on... I forget his name, but he's going to drop it in the chat. Somebody's live stream that starts... Whoa, 19 minutes from now. Jesus. Where's the time gone? Yeah, CMYK is going to be on there. Walter says, try to drill the props... I'm not sure what Walter's trying to say, but I've tried to drill props from 1 mil to 1.5 mil a bunch of times over the years, and every once in a while you get one that's balanced and centered. More often than not, you ruin the propellers, and it's just stupid. Curtis Hayes says, I got it working with Betaflight by moving to BLHeli-S. What? Now I'm going to put it in bootloader mode and put latest... Oh, I thought you meant you got the video to work by putting it onto BLES. I was going to say, what the hell? Harry Bennett, make sure if you at me, you at CiottiFPV, not just Ciotti. I've got TBS2 that runs 915 milliwatts. Latency apparently is twice as bad as 2.4, but I've got a module bay. I don't think the latency is twice as bad on Crossfire, but it's not quite as good as ELRS. If I run it like this, will I suffer from the latency, or is that only lost between the aerial and the drone, or will be lost within the controller? So controller latency is between the controller and the receiver. That's it. Crossfire's latency, it's fine. ELRS is a little bit better, but yeah, Crossfire latency is completely fine. You'll be all right. Christ, FR Sky latency was fine, and that was like another 10 or 15 milliseconds. So yeah, you'll be fine. Crossfire latency it's okay. It's low enough where like it's hard to tell the difference between Crossfire and ELRS. FR Sky to ELRS is immediately evident. Crossfire to ELRS is not nearly as obvious. FPV.wiki with 5 New Zealand dollary dues. I think I've already talked about this. Yep. There you go. In terms of other modifications to that rig, which it looks like you might be asking, I've done a ton of live streams about 65mm Walksnail builds. Those are where you want to look, because they weigh pretty much exactly the same. They're like 1 whole gram heavier. So come to my channel here, and there's a little magnifying glass. This will just search on my channel. Search for 65mm Walksnail. 65mm space Walksnail, and lots and lots and lots of live streams about that. And these are all very similar. So you'll get to see me test 36,000 kV motors, 33,000 kV motors, different frames, different camera mounts, all kinds of shit. So yeah, you can get caught up. And these all, thanks to Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper and Quadbod, these all have timestamps on them. So you can click on this one, and then you've got a whole bunch of good kind of tiny stamps. Can you dive into Tiny Whoop AIO firmware? So much extra work flying outside, 5-inch rampage footage, boom, 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 boom. You can run right through. You'll always notice that there's an Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper or a Quadbod comment. If you open up that comment, there's extended descriptions of the timestamps. I have to cut these descriptions down a little bit because there's a character limit. So yeah, Apache Smoke's comment in all these live streams has much more info, and sometimes there's extra timestamps in his comment. So you can come through here. You know, one of the things that you can easily do when you first come in, his comment is only going to have like this one line of text. So come into these live streams and click read more, and that'll expand all this text. And then you can do a command or a control F and search for Walksnail, for example. And now these are great here, but scroll down to Apache's comment, which has more stuff in it. And now you've got all these timestamps where he's mentioned Walksnail, and you can start to, yeah, hit these and just click on the blue timestamp, and it'll send you exactly to that point. So yeah, that's the best way to do it, my friend. It'll save you a ton of time doing it that way, and there's lots of good info on them. But yeah, first things first, get some longer screws to get those to stop popping out. That's got to be extremely frustrating. Douglas 6 says, one of those packages for me. I hope it's okay. Awesome. If I had time in the stream, I would go grab one, but I'm trying to end this at 9 o'clock so we can go over to Sugar Spider. Is it Sugar Spider? Spider Sugar. I was so close. Spider Sugar's live stream at 9 o'clock. CMYK posted the link in the chat. CMYK says, thanks for the shout out. You're certainly welcome. Monkey D. Cluffy says, my man, question for the Walksnail Nano V3 VTX kit. Can I run it from the 5-volt pad off my AIO, or does it need to be 5-volt plus pad? Walksnail Nano V3. Which one's that? Okay. Yeah. Well, if it's this one with the big ass VTX, I don't know, but usually in the specs they'll give you a voltage range. Here you go. Voltage range is 3.1 to 13 volts. So yeah, you're fine. You can either run it directly off the battery. That's what I do. I run digital VTXs directly off of the batteries, because the digital VTX, since it has that voltage range, since they're saying like, hey, send it 3 volts all the way up to 13, as long as you don't exceed, right, as long as you don't send it less or more, it's got a BEC built in. So let the built-in BEC do its thing. I don't like to send it 5 volts because the 5-volt output on the flight controller is controlled by a BEC on the flight controller. And then you're sending that 5 volts into another BEC. I would rather just send the raw voltage into the digital VTX's BEC and let that bring the voltage down or up or wherever it wants it. I try not to have a BEC wired to another BEC. And I've heard that that's not a good thing to do. And I've just not had any luck doing that in the past. So yeah, send it battery voltage if you can, as long as it's not exceeding the window, which is 3.1 volts to 13 volts. So like, you wouldn't want to hook this up to 6S. You wouldn't even want to hook this up to 3S. Does this thing really only take 13 volts? Are they all like that? Surely not. What's this big one take? Uh, 6 volts to 25.2 volts. Okay. But that's the older design. Huh. Walksnail. Maybe when they put this smaller camera on it. Huh. That's good to know. I would think that you'd be able to hook this big ass VTX up to VBAT on anything. But no, I mean, if you send this thing 6S voltage, it's going to explode. Mini VTX V3. Huh. That is good to know, because I think I have one. I do. I have one of these right here. And I was planning on putting this on a 4S rig. And if I send this 4S voltage, it's going to blow up. Wait, no, 4S voltage would be fine. 4, 8, 12. No. Yeah, 4S voltage is 16. Jesus. Wow, okay. 3S only. I gotta write a note on this. Wow. 3S only. Good Lord. That would have been annoying. Walter Van Den Ord says, let the drill run anti-clockwise. Trust me, I'm an engineer. Then it won't cut. It's actually an interesting idea. Minos133 says, for a 75mm build, when to use a 2G4 and when an X12? That's a really good question. There's a chance that the 2G4 that I had that weird result with was on its way out. But what I'll say is, when you get to this big, when you get to an 1102 motor or an 0803 motor that are high kV on 1S, that's when you might want to go north of 5 amp on the AIO. The 2G4 will work, but you might lose a little bit of power. So yeah, if possible, you want to bump it up. I was going to do a mailbag, but we have 9 minutes, and I also have to take a dump. So we're going to do mailbag on Sunday. Sorry, guys. Levster says, do you still build whoops to buy? Typically not. A build is going to take me like 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. Bench work, for people that want me to do bench work, I charge $80 an hour because I don't want to do it. I don't like to do it, and so I charge a lot. I can't sell a tiny whoop, so that's like $160 right there, and then the cost of the parts are at least another $100. I can't sell a tiny whoop for $260, $300. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I typically don't do it, but every once in a while, I might sell this 75 Pro. I don't know. We'll see. But I want to get this in the hands of somebody that's going to fly the shit out of it. So we'll see. Walter says it will. Surprise. I'll give it a shot. Dave S says the Nano kit has a lower low voltage though than the regular HD kit that's 6 to 25. Cool. That's good to know. How can I tell if it's the Nano? Boy, does it look similar. Ah, okay. I could see a little bit of a difference there. Oh, wait, no. I think this is the Nano. Boy, it looks super similar. Whatever. I'll power it from a 5-volt source. It'll be fine. Curtis Hayes says, yep, the VTX is dead. Sorry, dude. Curtis also says, now to troubleshoot why no video on my 2G4. I can't believe you had all 3 of them shit the bed. Oh my god, dude. It's like, how many do I have to fucking bring? Like, how many quads do I have to bring to have one work when I get where I'm going? Apparently 3's not enough. Biochi says, my Mobula 6 2024 is suddenly turning off during flight, then it starts on again after some seconds. Think it happens with new and full batteries. Any problems with the ESC? Thank you. I'll bet you your BT 2.0 is starting to fail, either at the solder joints on the AIO itself or here at the plug. I bet you that's the deal. So check that really closely. That's typically what causes that problem. Veritas User says, put Teddy on for a while and go take a dump. You can come back and we'll continue. He would not sit here for that. But he did just go to the the groomer today. So he's all fluffy and shit. Hold on. I'm gonna put something on for you to watch. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go try to get him. This is one of the lightweight 75mm rigs that we did not fly tonight that I said we were gonna fly. Hang on. He's like a trotting fucking horse, this dog. Come here, little boy. Come here, little buddy. Get over here. Get that over here. Come here. I got you. Look at this handsome boy. Look how handsome. Get your shitty little mustache hairs on your face. Oh, stop it. Did you hear that? Look at him. Look at him. He's so much less scraggly. Look at you, little doggy. Oh! 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 Oh, he just kicks my balls like over and over again when that happens, and it becomes like, oh, becomes a real test of gumption. Hey, 3 minutes. Go watch Sugar Spider. Go watch Sugar Spider. Why do I keep saying Spider Sugar? Mailbag. A quick mailbag, not a full mailbag. Oh, cool. This is a little rubber band macro lens thing that I ordered from Amazon. I had one. It's how I get the super close up shots for the thumbnails every once in a while. Like, for example, check this out. I can just hold it up to the lens of the bench cam. Watch this. Watch this. Oh my God! Look how close it can get. That is the beauty of a macro lens. Look at that shit, man. Look at that. Yeah, get it up in there. It's this is the broken one. This is the broken one. It got so old that the rubber just, yeah, de-rubberized. But that's all it is. It's just a little tiny macro lens. And as a rubber band, you wrap it around your phone, and it just sits in front of the lens. It works really well. Like, it works hysterically well. And they give it to you. They sell it in this little. It's called Easy Macro. Easy Macro. Really, really, really cool little thing to have. Super nerdy photography piece. I got this from ThinkGeek. You guys remember ThinkGeek? This is a ThinkGeek purchase. Yeah, Easy Macro, yo. I can't believe they still sell this. I mean, I can believe they still sell this. This is a great little product. Tim Hartman. What you got? What you got? Did I cut that enough? Did I do it? Oh, shit! We got some stuff in here. What we got? Tim Hartman sent me, some little bags. Dude, thank you. Little crack cocaine bags. Perfect. I need them crack cocaine bags. I use those for the 0.99mm drill bits. Oh! Yeah! Tim Hartman is Timmons. Timmons sent me the Happy model, no OSD, no VTX AIO, that claims to be 2S. So I'm going to put this onto the 2S rig, and we're going to see what's what. And then this is the sub 250 FPV 1002 in, what is it, 20,000 kV? Yep, 20,000 kV. I'm going to solder on a thing, and we're going to spin this up and see how it compares to the RC Power 1002 22,000s. Thank you, Timmons. Very cool. Designing awesome Batwing camera mounts and supporting the testing since 2023. I'm gonna find somewhere cool for this. Nice. What is this? Is like laser etched or something? That's awesome. It's got 3M backing. I gotta find a cool place for this. This is rad. Thank you, dude. This might actually go on the toolbox. Advanced heli services. Look at that. That's super slick. Hey, very cool. Very, very cool. How the hell did you make these, Timmons? These are rad. SummitHelicopters.com. What? There we go. And then SUU Aviation. That's a university, isn't it? What's S? South Utah University? That's going to be my guess. South Utah University. Damn, very cool. Yeah, I think these are going to go in the toolbox. That is awesome, dude. Thank you. This is really cool. Advanced heli services. Dude, thank you, Timmons. Very, very cool of you. Very, very cool. And then this box is from Douglas Otwell, and it almost certainly has some more gangly fans in it, which was super, super, super amazing. But it is 902, and you guys should go check out Sugar Spider, see how you like his live stream. Your other option is Super Deluxe. So go check one of those guys out. Can a moderator drop links to either one or both of those, please? So that you guys can go. Maggie is upstairs waiting for me, so I'm going to split. But massive shout out to Douglas Otwell for re-upping my supply of gangly fans. The fourth giveaway that we do on every first Monday stream of the month is how you can win one of these. Douglas, thank you so much, brother. These are amazing, as they have all been, and everybody that has won one. Hey, the first one of these is going international, actually. There's one of these that just went out in the mail today, actually, to Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper. So yeah, man, your gangly fans are officially international. Very, very cool. Thank you, dude. Douglas, this is rad. Ramdongo says, it's a big motor. Show the dudes you're taller. I don't think they know you're a potential beast. What do you mean? It's a big motor. What's a big motor? What? What's a big motor? What you talking about? You want a big motor? I'll give you a big motor. Hold on. We're going to do a proper mailbag on Sunday, but this is a big motor. This is a Emax 2807 1700 kV murder, right? Yeah, 1700 kV 2807. Here's what it looks like next to a puny little 2207. My God, this is for the Cineglide all the way down there. This is to crank a 5552 propeller, 5.5 inch 52 pitch propeller. This is also for 7-inch props. We'll see how it goes. We'll do a proper mailbag on Sunday. Thanks for hanging out, friends. Sorry that I didn't fly these two guys, but I have flown them quite a bit, and I showed you some flight footage from both of these while I was running upstairs to get the doggo. They're a lot lighter. The runtime is better. The cameras are better. The onboard VTXs are better. But they're more custom builds. They're not all that custom. They're just Modula 7 1S ELRSs. But still, they're more of a custom build. This is a bind and fly with a propeller swap, and that's super impressive. If you're dying to get your hands on one of these that's tuned by me, message me and maybe we'll figure something out. But I do want to fly this a bunch more because I want to get used to these bi-blades, and then I want to switch back to the tri-blades. I'm dripping sweat. I'm just dripping sweat. So I'm going to fly that some more. But yeah, I'm out. There's a bunch more shit that I wanted to do tonight, but it's just too hot in here. It's like 83 degrees in here. It's ridiculous. I love you guys. Be good. Bye. Veritas Huza says, Teddy looks adorable. A dog weighs 67 pounds. Here's my kick in the balls. Stomp my balls and stand there. Yeah, they like target them. Oh, God. They want to make sure that we can't have kids to take the attention away from them. I'll see you guys Sunday at 3 o'clock. Hopefully there's... no, it'll be just as miserable in here. Maybe at 3 o'clock... No, it'll be hotter at 3 o'clock. It's all over my face. Go get some spider sugar, friends. Or Super Deluxe. Tell them I sent you. Bye-bye! Here's some more flying from the two that I didn't fly tonight. I'm not sure which one this is, but it'll be one of them. Love you, bye! This is the... This is the 080... Yeah, this is the 0802.8 rig. Yeah, and so previously was the lightweight 0703 rig. Love you guys, bye!